Hello children, welcome back to our class. So today we are going to discuss about the physical properties. Today we are going to discuss about the physical properties of metals. Physical properties of metals. Before going to learn the physical properties of metals in detailed manner, once we will revise the topics what we learned yesterday, right? So yesterday what we discussed in our class means first we discussed about the introduction of metals and non-metals. What we discussed, sir? Introduction of metals and non-metals. So then after we discussed about the few important points and few important definitions about the chemistry. Those are matter, atom, element, like this. Next, what we discussed means we discussed about the structure of the atom. What we discussed? Structure of the atom also we discussed. So in the structure of the atom we discussed that about the fundamental particles. So what are the fundamental particles are present in the atom? Electrons, protons, neutrons, right? So where these fundamental particles are present in the atom means these fundamental particles are present in the atom. So that is electrons are present outside the nucleus in the shells or orbit. Protons are present, protons and neutrons both are present in the nucleus. Among these fundamental particles, electrons are present outside the nucleus in the orbits. Where the electrons are present outside the nucleus in the orbit. And protons and neutrons, these both fundamental particles are present inside the nucleus. These are present inside the nucleus, and this combinedly called as nuclei. This is combinedly called as nuclei. These points we learned about the structure of the atom. Next, what we discussed about the atom, that is atom is said to be neutral. Atom is said to be neutral. In any neutral atom, the number of electrons are always equals to the number of protons. Number of electrons are always equals to number of protons, right? If electrons are decreased or increased, that means if losing of electrons or gaining of electrons is occurred, then that is called as what's here? Ion. That is called as ion. Next, what we discussed, the electropositive ions are called as metals. The electropositive ions are called as metals. And next, the electronegative ions are called as non-metals. Electronegative ions are called as non-metals. So the electropositivity will occur on the atom due to the loss of electrons. The electronegativity will occur on the atom due to the gaining of electrons. The number of electropositivities is depends upon the number of electrons are loosed. So that means how many number of electrons are loosed by an atom, the same number of positive charges will form on that. At the same time, how many number of electrons are gained by the atom, the same number of negatively charged are present on the atom, right? So these points we discussed yesterday class, and along with that we also discussed that the distinguish of metals from the non-metals. So how can we distinguish? Means we can distinguish with the help of physical properties and with the help of chemical properties. So in that we learned in the last class, that is what are the physical properties are there to distinguish. So what are the physical properties are there? I said that so total 10 physical properties are there to distinguish the metals from the non-metals. So once we will see what are the 10 physical properties. In that, number 1, state. Number 2, color. Number 3, the lustrous property. Number 4, hardness. Number 5, density. Number 6, malleability. 7, ductility. 8, conductivity. 9, sonority. 10, melting point and boiling points of the metals. Right? So these all points we discussed in the last class. So coming to today we are going to discuss in detailed manner about these physical properties of the metals. Among these, that first I would like to take the first property, that is state. That is what's are here, state. So in the universe, the matter can exist in generally in 5 physical states. So what are the 5 physical states? Number 1 is solid state. Number 2, liquid state. Number 3, gaseous state. Number 4, plasma state. Number 5, Bose-Einstein condensate. So among these 5 physical properties, the first 4 physical properties are natural physical properties, and the 5th one, which is that Bose-Einstein condensate. What is that, sir? Here, Bose-Einstein condensate. That is the man-made physical state. This physical state we can observe in the laboratory only, right? So we will. So what are the 5 states are? We say 5 states are there here. So that is, number 1 is solid state. Number 2, liquid state. Number 3, gaseous state. Number 4, plasma state. Number 5, Bose-Einstein condensate. About the properties of these states, we will discuss in your higher classes. That means in the 9th class we are going to discuss. In your 9th class, we have a chapter that is matter around us. In that lesson, very detailed manner, we are going to learn about the physical properties of the matter. So coming to here, what we have to discuss and what we have to know means how the metals are exist. That means in which physical state the metals are exist. So in which physical state the metals are exist means generally metals are exist at solid state in room temperature. Generally metals are exist at a solid state in room temperature. Right, sir? So metals, how they are existing? Maximum they are existing solid state. Right? Now, are all elements are existing solid state? No. So here a metal is there. One exception is there. That is what means here mercury. What is the metal? Mercury. Mercury is a metal. The symbol of mercury is Hg. The Latin name of this mercury is hydroserum. So due to the hydroserum, so the symbol is came, that is Hg. So coming to here, the mercury is a metal, but it does not exist solid state at room temperature. Now, in which state it exists? Means the mercury exists in liquid state at room temperature. Room temperature. Right, sir? So where we are observing this mercury in our daily life? Where we are observing means if you go to the doctor, so he will check our body temperature with the help of the thermometer. In the thermometer, we can observe a liquid. What is that liquid? So that liquid is a metal. That is mercury. That is what's here, mercury, right? So that means mercury is liquid state at room temperature. The remaining maximum. Understood? The next physical property of the metal is color. What is the next physical property? That is color. So here generally metals are present in silver or grey in color. Generally metals are present in silver or grey in color. That means maximum metals are present in this color. A few metals like copper and gold, platinum, these are present in their different color, right? So metals are maximum present in silver and green color. This point you have to remember, right children? So here this is about the color. Next, third property is, what is the third property here? Hardness. What is the third property, sir, here? Hardness. That means metals are very hard substances. Metals are very hard substances like iron. Like iron. We know that iron is very hard substance. So due to its hardness and more strength, the iron is used in the construction of buildings, and it is also used in the construction of bridges. It's also used in the construction of bridges. So along with this, so many metals are very hard in nature. So some metals are, and here some metals are very soft in nature. Some metals are very soft in nature. For example, sodium, potassium, magnesium, etc. For example, sodium, magnesium, potassium. These metals are what are here? Soft in nature. These are also metals, but these are soft in nature. Generally, metals are very hard. Generally, metals are hard in nature, but these elements are soft in nature. So, how much these are soft means we can cut these metals. We can cut these metals with the help of knife or with the help of scissors. We can cut this. Right, sir? All of you. This much of very soft metals these are. Right. So till now, how many points we discussed? 3 points. What are the first physical property? State. And second physical property. What is the second physical property? That is color. And the third physical property, hardness. Okay, children. The next physical property is lustrous property. What is the next physical property? Lustrous property. So what is mean by lustrous nature? What is mean by lustrous nature? Lustrous nature is nothing but what's are here? The shining property. Lustrous is nothing but shining. Lustrous is nothing but shining. So here, when a substances are exposed to the light, when the substances are exposed to the light, what happens? They will get shine. They will get a shine. So this property is called as lustrous property. Generally, metals are lustrous in nature. Generally, metals are lustrous in nature. That means when we expose the metals to the light or when we polish the metal, they will shine. They will shine. So that's why this is called as, that's why metals are having shining nature. So metals are lustrous in nature. Metals are lustrous in nature. Right? So next, for example, if you take gold, silver, platinum, so these are also metal. These metals we are using for making of ornaments. These metals we are using for making of ornaments. Why? Because these are very shining in nature and they are less reactive with atmospheric oxygen or water and acids. This, right? So main point is here, metals are lustrous in nature. Metals are lustrous in nature. That's why metals are, that this property is also known as metallic lustrous property. Metallic lustrous property. Now the fourth point, the next property is density. What is the next property of the metals here? Density. So density is nothing but, density of a substance is a measure. Density of a substance is a measure of how heavy it is. Density is nothing but what's here? The substance is a measure of how heavy it is. Generally metals are high density in nature. Generally metals have high density in nature. Right, sir? So based on this density, metals are classified into two types. Metals are classified into how many types here? Two types. Those are light metals and heavy metals. Those are what's are here? Light metals and heavy metals. So for example, if you take iron, it is come under into what's are here? heavy metal. It is converted into the heavy metal. Some metals are like sodium, potassium, magnesium. These are considered as light metals. These are considered as light metals. How light these means? They can float in the water. They can float in the water, right? So finally, what can we say here? Metals are having more density. Metals are having a more density, right? The next property. What is the next properties are here? The next property is malleability. What is the next property here? Malleability. Malleability is nothing but converting of metals into thin sheets by hammering. That means when we hammer the metals, they convert into thin sheets. This property is called as malleability. Generally metals are high malleable in nature. So if you observe this picture, we can see. So here the iron, it is converted into what's here? A thin sheets. It converted into a thin sheets. For example, if you take gold and silver, due to very high malleability nature, these are used in the making of ornaments. Right, sir? All of you. So malleability is nothing but making the metals into thin sheets by hammering. So metals are having more or high malleable property. Right, sir? So the next physical property is ductility. What is the next physical property, sir? Here, ductility. Right. So what is mean by ductility? Ductility is nothing but what's here? The converting of metals or the converting of substances into long wires. The converting of elements into long wires. This property is called as ductility. It is called as what's here? Ductility. So the metals are high ductility nature substances. That means we can convert the metals into long wires. For example, if you observe the electrical wires, for example, if you cut the plastic, what are present, we can observe the few copper wires. Right, sir? So copper is what here? It is a metal. So it is converted into long wires. So along with the copper, in electrically we are using aluminium also. So aluminium is also converted into long wires. So right, sir? So like this, we can say that metals are having high ductility nature. Ductility is nothing but the converting of elements or substances into long wires. So metals we can converting into long wires. That's why metals are having ductility property. Right, sir? Next physical property we are going to learn, that is conductivity. What is the property? That is conductivity. So in this topic, we are going to learn that our metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. The metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. So to understand this, to understand the conductivity of electricity of metals, let me see an activity. So in this activity, we are going to learn that metals are good conductors of electricity. Right? If you observe an electrician, he used a tester to test the electricity. So if you observe the tester, it is made up with what's here? Plastic. Surrounding it is made up with plastic. Right? So why that tester is made up with plastic? Do you know? So you can give the answer after this activity. For this activity, the materials required: coal, copper wire, plastic, electrical wires, and bulb. So first we have to make an electric circuit with the help of electrical wire, bulb and battery. So to the two ends of the electrical wire we have to attach an iron rod. So we have to attach an iron rod. So when we on the electric circuit, what do you observe? We can observe the glowing of a bulb. That means we can say that we can say that iron is a good conductor of electricity. So we do that same experiment with the help of coal. We cannot observe the glowing of bulb. That means coal is bad conductor of electricity. Next we will do the same experiment with the copper wire. So we can observe the glowing of electricity. That means copper is a good conductor of. Next, if we do the same experiment with the plastic, so we cannot observe the glowing of bulb. That means it is poor conductivity. So from this activity, we can say that the materials are divided into different aspects that based on the electricity. Some are good conductors, some are bad conductors. So in this activity, iron rod and copper wires are good conductors. Coal and plastic is a bad conductors. So from this activity, we can say the answer that the tester is made up with plastic around surrounding it. That is due to protection the electrical shocks. So in this activity, from this activity, we learn that metals are good conductors of electricity and they can pass current through them. Right, sir? All of you? I think you understand this activity, and with this activity we can say that metals are good conductors of electricity. Are you clear, sir? All of you? So at the same time we have to know, are the metals good conductors of heat or not? Good conductors of heat or not? So we can say that metals are undoubtedly good conductors of heat. So in our day-to-day life also we can observe that. So how means, if you keep an iron rod on the stove which is burning, after some time if you hold another end of the iron rod, you feel hot. You feel what's here? Hot. That means what is happening? The heat energy is passing from one end to another end. The heat energy is passing from one end to another end. That means metal is a good conductor of heat. So if you keep a stick on the burning stove, so if you hold another end of the stick, so you can't feel hot. Why? Because it is a bad conductor of electricity. So based on these activities, we can say that metals are good conductors of electricity and they are also good conductors of heat. Right, sir? So the next physical property we are going to see that sonorous property. What is the next property? That is sonorous property. So what is mean by sonorous? Sonorous property is nothing but making ringing sound when we hit. The material. So if we hit the metal, it will make a ringing sound. For example, if you take school bell, what we are observing in daily, the school bell, if we hit with another metal, so it will give what's here? Ringing sound continuously. So if the ringing sound will come continuously, that property is called as sonority property. Right, sir, all of you? So here we can observe the ringing sound in this video. Right? So that means we can say that metals are having sonority property. So the next last physical property, that is melting point and boiling points. So generally metals are having high melting and boiling points due to we already said. Why? Because we already learned in the first property, that is state, that is what's the here, what we learn, metals are generally solids at the room temperature. In the solid state, if a material is present, in that the molecules are arranged in closed compact. So due to that, it requires more boiling, more temperature of boiling point and melting point. So right, so these are the 10 physical properties of metals. So with the help of these 10 physical properties, we can distinguish the metals from the non-metals. Are you clear? So these are the physical properties. I hope you understand about these, right?